And the olera no iao that we're gonna kind of keep in mind is ulu kahoi. Can everybody say that? Ulu kahoi.
Ulu
And what
Crepes.
you don't have to put your microphone on, just leave it muted, but just keep saying it, because the more you talk Hawaiian, the better you sound. That's just how it works. And so what ulu kahoi means is the hoi vine grows, and it kind of means there's interest in what's going on. And so we are so excited that there's so much interest in learning about learning, laughing, and cooking with ulu. Today, what we're going to learn is how to make savory and sweet ulu flower crepe, how to do a Hawaiian opening and closing chant, how to learn some Hawaiian, to pronounce some Hawaiian words and phrases, some basic information about the ulu tree, the story of the Kumu Uno, and how to have fun while cooking and learning Hawaiian, which is how it's supposed to be. So we're going to start with our chant. If you know it, please join us along, but keep your microphones muted, please. Alohe, alohe na kua, alohe na aumakua, alohe na lio Hawai'i, alohe na kupuna, alohe na makua, alohe ka lehulehu, aloha e. And for those of you who heard this the first time, I'll give you a chance to try it one more time. I'll do it one more time and try the best. You're going to go down on Hawaii and you're going to go down on Lehu Lehu. Makaukau? Aloha e, alohe na kua, alohe na aumakua, alohe na lio Hawaii, alohe na kupuna, alohe na makua, alohe ka lehulehu, aloha e. Aloha mai kākou, ku hina hina kui kaha kai kaha kalau ko uinoa, o Honolulu ku o ne hānau, o Hawai'i ku o mokupuni, o kalamai, o Kilauea ku o mauna, o Waipio ku o awawa.
Aloha mai kākou, o Iini mai kalani ke ali'i kuaʻina ka hakalau ka uinoa, o Hawai'i kuʻu mokupuni, o Kohala kuʻu mauna, o Waiʻolena kuʻu kai, o Waipio kuʻu awawa, o Hiʻilawe kuʻu wailele, a o Pūnaka kuʻu kahawai. Aloha.
So if you could please in the chat write your full name and where you're zooming in from, please. So in the chat, please write your full name, because we want to know, just might have an ancestral middle name and we might know you and we might even be related to you, and also the place that you're zooming in, as specific, and then you can go like, if it's a place we wouldn't know, like if it's in Virginia or whatever, then you can let us know about that place too. So today the focus is on ulo, which is our breadfruit. And what we're specifically going to be making is palawa, lina lina, ulu ono, ame amomona. So hana ho palawa, lina lina, ulu.
ulu ono a momona.
So keep your microphones muted, please. One more time, palawa, lina lina, ulu.
Palawa, lina lina, ulu.
Ono a momona.
Ono a momoma.
Okay, so somebody is has their microphone on. Please make sure your microphones are muted, just because if we have more people talking, then it gets kind of really crazy. The palawa lina lina ulo are our ulu flower crepes. Ono is the word for savory, and momona is the word for sweet. So that's what we're going to be making today, and hopefully ours will look just as beautiful as these ones that Iini made a while back, that we have a picture of. And so the first thing we're going to need is all of these ingredients. So some of you guys might be cooking along. Some of you might just be watching and then you can cook it afterwards. But what you will need is a pola. Hanaho, everybody, when I say it, then just repeat it after me. Pola, papaoki, mea ho'opuehu, pahi, apuana, ki apu, papalai, ulau. And the word that I just want to draw your attention is the word ki apu. We know what ki is. Ki is tea leaf, right? And apu is a cup. So the traditional ladle was basically a tea leaf that we made into a cup. And that's how we would get water, from, let's say, the river to drink or to put into our umeke or put into our huevai or whatever, is we would use a tea leaf or ki, and we would just shape that into a cup form, and that would be our label. So that's why that is the ladle is called ki apu. All right. So now Iini is going to be holding up something, and I want you guys to try and see what it is and say it, and I'll be watching your lips, and I will see how if you remembered the words. Okay, Iini, can we switch to you now? Kind of, we have the two screens. And now I need to also see Iini so that I make sure that we're on the same page here. Participants, one moment. Okay, Makau Iini. All right, everybody, what is that thing that Iini is holding up? Can you see her? Can you see Iini's screen? If you pin her, that would help. Pin Iini, and then that way.
She should be pinned. Can you guys say yes or no if you can or can't see her in the chat, please?
Yes, can see.
Thank you.
Okie dokie.
You might have to minimize your shared screen of Aunty Ku's presentation. And if you just enlarge the screen where you can see the host, then she will get bigger.
All right, here we go. Makau. All right, what is Iini holding? Okay. Heahakia is a question. Heahakia, what is that? Pola. Did you guys get that? No? Pola, bowl.
Oh, we're going in order?
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay, we had a small discussion. Yeah, we're going in order. So Pola, if you didn't get it, that was my fault then. All right. Next one, Ini. Anybody remembers that one? It's a board that you cut on. Yeah, I see some of you. Papa Oki. Can we all repeat that? Papa Oki. Okay. Next one, Iini. Anybody remember this one? He hakeia mea ho'opuehu. Anaho mea ho'opuehu. Okay. Next one, he hakeia. Like pahi. I saw some of your lips moving. I'm a good lip reader. I've been teaching for 35 years. You learn how to read lips, yeah? Okay, next one, Ini. It's a cup that we measure with, right? Like apuana. Can we say that? Apuana. No break between the apu and the ana. Apuana. Hanaho? Okay. Next one. He hakia. Mai ki apu. Ki apu. Hanaho? Very good. He hakia. Anybody remember? He hakia. Oh, aohe o papalai. Okay. Yeah. Loa? Okay. Papalai. Hanaho? Papalai. And kamea hope loa, he hakia. Ulau, hanaho, ulau. Mai kai. So these are all the things that you need to cook with. If you have them, fabulous. If you're not going to cook with us today, that's also fine, and you do it another time. All right, here we have our next vocabulary, which are our ingredients. Hanaho, palawa ulu. Uala. Moa. Vai. Manako. Vayu Paka. Huh? Hua Moa. Vayu. Pa'akai. Peko. Aka'akai Maui. Makaneki. And the best one of all, Vayu Paka Poi Ameniu. Maikai. All right. So we're going to do the same thing again. Iini is going to hold up the ingredient and you're going to try and remember all of these words if you can. Those of you who know it, if not, don't worry. That's why we're repeating and she's going to show it to you so that you can see it. All right. Makakau e Iini. Heaha keia. Palawa ulu. Hanaho? Palawa ulu. Kai. Heaha Hawaii. Heaha keia. Ai. Olele. Ho'ike. Hua moa. Hanaho. Hua moa. Maikai. Ho'omau. This one is melted, so it might be a little hard to see. So I'm going to give you that as a free one. That's Vayu Paka. Hanaho? Vayu Paka, which is butter, in this case, melted butter. Heaha Hawaii. Heaha keia. Vayu. Hanaho? Vayu. Milk. Yeah. Skalamai. Keia kawai. Hanaho vai. Right. That one we probably all would have known kalamai about that. Okay. And ho'okahi Hawaii. Heaha keia. Pa'akai. Mai kailoa. Pa'akai. Aoya. And those are all the things that we need to make our crepe. Now let's look at what we're going to need for the savory part. Ho'ike mai. Okay. Anybody could try and guess. It's kind of hard to see. The closer you can get to the camera, you need a better. Yeah. It's moa moa. So it's cooked chicken. This is the chicken part. Moa moa. Okay. Heaha Hawaii. Heaha keia. Uala. Ai, mai kai loa. Uala moa. So cooked sweet potato. Mai kai. Ea ka. Anybody? Peko. Peko. In our case, it's peko luau. Iini makes the bestest luau pesto. So if you never made luau pesto before, try it out. It's ono loa. Aka mea hope loa no kela mea ono oia hoi ka. Oh yeah, ue oike oki oi kela mea oia hoi ka aka'akai maui. Aka'akai maui. And then for our mea ono, the sweet, our sweet crepe, we need heaha keia. Manako, ai mai kai. Manako, heaha Hawaii. Hopefully you ordered it in the box, which is our Vayu Paka Poi Ameniu. So this is our poi coconut butter, right? From Akaka Falls Farms. Akamea Hopiloa. Maka Neki, which is our mac nuts. Okay, so those are all the things that we're going to need to cook our two types of crepes today. No leila o kamea mua kamea pono palawa lina lina ulu ono. So the first thing we're going to be looking at is our savory crepe. Kamea mua umi kumalua aunaki uala. Aunaki just means ounces. Ounces, kind ounces. Aunaki. Can we say that? Umi kumalua, that's 12. Umi kumalua aunaki wala. 12 ounces sweet potato. Ho'okahi hapa apu peko. Ho'okahi hapa apu peko. Half a cup of pesto. Any kind of pesto is fine. Ho'okahi apo. Moa moa. Velu velu. 1 cup of shredded cooked chicken. Cooked shredded. Moa is the chicken. Moa means cooked. Velu velu means shredded. Okay? Ho'okahi aka'akai maui. Ho'okahi aka'akai maui. Maikai. 1 maui onion. And that's it. For our mea pono palawa lina lila ulu momona, for our sweet crab, we will need umi kumaono au naki manako. Hanaho umi kumaono au naki manako. 16 ounces of mango. Ho'okahi puna nui waiu paka poi ame niu. Ho'okahi puna nui waiu paka poi ame niu. Maikai. Ho'okahi hapaha apu makaneki. Ho'okahi hapaha apu makaneki. A 1/4 cup of mac nuts. Okay? And then the last thing is actually to make our mea palawa lina lina ulu. Our crepe is ho'okahi hapa apu palawa ulu. Ho'okahi hapa apu palawa ulu. Okay. Elua hua moa. Elua hua moa. 2 eggs. Ho'okahi hapa apu waiu. Ho'okahi hapa apu waiu. So that's half a cup of milk. Ho'okahi hapa apu wai. Ho'okahi hapa apu wai. Elua puna nui waiu paka ho'ohehe'e. Elua puna nui waiu paka ho'ohehe'e. 2 tablespoons of melted butter. Okay. Leila, ho'okahi hapa puna pa'akai. Ho'okahi hapa puna pa'akai. Half a teaspoon of salt. And then some aila or ailaki, which is oil or spray, like pan spray, just to coat the pan a little bit. Okay? So these are all of our ingredients that we need to make this. And so if you're actually cooking, okia kamanava e holoi lima. E hele o ko holoi lima. So if you're actually going to cook, please make sure you holoi lima, which means to wash your hands, because we try to always be very clean when we cook. For Hawaiian ohana, you know, even when they make imu, everything is very clean. Yeah. So if you're actually cooking, please holoi lima. And then we are ready, I think, to go and go over the steps and then prepare it. So kahana pihana ono. So to make our savory filling, we have multiple steps, and they are, first we'll take the uala. We are going to ho'omoa ka uala. So if it hasn't been cooked yet, you need to cook it. If you received the box, it was already cooked for you. And but if you buy it in the store, you would have to ho'omoa to cook, then to hemo ili, which means to take off the skin, which was already also done for you by our friends at the Ulu Corp. And then we're going to poke. poke I ka'uala. Now, a lot of us think, when we think of poke, we think of fish, but the poke is really not the fish. It's the technique of chopping into little blocks, into little squares, right? That's poke. So we're gonna poke I ka'uala. And so now probably what we can do is to watch I'ini poke I ka'uala, alela komo I kapola. And then she's gonna put it inside the bowl. So if you're cooking a poke I ka'uala, a komo I kapola, cut up your uala into little pieces, just the tip of your little finger, kind of little, and then put it inside your bowl. Remember, if you're cooking, you should have a bowl. Like poke ai ka'uala, mai kai, a komo I loko kapola. Ke pau oi ha'i mai, okay? Alela, ki I kamoa, get your chicken. Again, if it wasn't cooked, you should have cooked it right before. Ho'omoa I kamoa. And then ho'ovelu then shred it. Or just oki it, cut it little into small pieces. Komo I kapola. So if you have moa chicken, any kind of boneless, skinless, or regular chicken with skin in it, don't put any bones inside. But it doesn't matter if you like skin, then you can put it in. If not, then take the skin off, and then ho'ovelu, cut it, shred it, a komo I kapola. What was komo I kapola means put inside the bowl, right? Mai kai. Alela ki'i I ka'akai maui, grab your maui onion. A poke li'i, cut it into small, even smaller pieces now, right? That has to be really small. A komo I kapola no hoi. So ki'i ka'akai maui, poke li'i, a komo I loko kapola. Ea la, ea ka I inihana. Oki oia, poke oia I ka'akai maui, a komo oia I loko kapola. Mai kai. Alela kapeko. Komo I kapeka, peko kalamai. Komo I kapeko I loko kapola. Ea kapeko, komo I loko kapola. Okay? Okay. Ho'ohui I nā mea a pau I loko kapola. Ho'ohui, mix up. Hui is to get together, right? We're ho'ohui, causing all the ingredients to join together inside the bowl. So ho'ohui I nā mea a pau I loko o kapolo. Mix all the ingredients inside the bowl. Are we all good so far? Mai kai? All right, so this is our savory filling, and we're gonna now just set that aside. Kau maka'au au, and don't let anybody try it and taste it already. Hold on to it so you have some left over by the time we make our crepe. No lele ikia manawa hana kako ika hana momona. Now we're gonna do the sweet filling. Okay, makau. Ki'i ka manako, grab your manako, your mango. Hemo ika ili, right? If you bought it in the store, if you have mangoes at home, you would hemo ika ili. You'd have to take off your skin. If you got it from the Ulu Corp, it'll already be both skinned and poke. If it's a little too big, then poke ho, make it a little bit smaller. A komo ikapola. So you need another bowl now. Don't put it in with your savory dressing. Get another bowl. Hemo ikaili poke, make it into small pieces. A komo ikapola. Okay. He pola ho kau e ini. Alela, ki'i ina makaneki. Grab the mac nuts. Poke li'i loa. Cut it really, dice it really fine. And then komo ikikahi pola ho. Don't mix it with the mangoes. Just keep it in a little bowl or on your cutting board, kind of on the side. Yeah, so poke li'i loa ika makaneki, komo ika pola ho. Put that in another bowl. And oya wale kahana no kapihana momona. That's all we need to do to make our sweet filling for now. And the reason we did the fillings first is because the crepes are going to go really fast. And once they're done, we want to fill them up right away so we can eat them while the crepe is hot, right? So that's the reason we made the two fillings first, the savory one and now the sweet one. So Ini's just putting that in a little bowl there. And then I think she's ready to start working on the crepe. All righty, mai kailo. No leila. Ea kahana palawa lina lina ulu. So the palawa lina lina ulu. Palawa just means, it can mean flour, it can mean bread. Lina lina means round, so it's just a round thing made out of flour. And in this case, flour ulu, right? Palawa lina lina ulu. And this is the first part of making our crepe. Okay, makau kau. We'll wait until Iini reappears.
We forgot our plates for the finishing. Makoko.
Hai, mai kai. Oh yeah, no leila. Ka mea mua ka palawa ulu, komo I ka pola nui. Your palawa nui, your palawa ulu, and it was ho'okahi hapa apu. Half a cup of flour, komo I loko o ka pola. So half a cup of the ulu flour, komo I loko o ka pola. Mai kai, komo I loka, mai kai loa. A leila, hua moa. Komo I nā hua moa e lua I loko o ka pola. So e lua hua moa, komo I loko o ka pola. 2 eggs, put it inside your bowl. A leila, ho'opuehu. Remember the mea ho'opuehu was our whisk. So we are going to ho'opuehu right now. We're going to use our whisk and we're going to just whip it good. Yeah, ho'opuehu. So once you have your elua hua moa I loko ka pola a leila ho'opuehu I ka palawa ulu a me nā hua moa. Okay. Makau ini? Okay. A leila, lawe I ka waiu a me ka wai a ninini lohi I ka pola a ho'ohui. So we had ho'okahi hapa apu wai and ho'okahi hapa apu waiu. Half a cup of milk and half a cup of water and ninini lohi. Slowly pour I ka pola inside the bowl and then mix it together. Okay? No leila ninini lohi I ka waiu a me ka wai I ka pola a ho'ohui. Okay? Mai kai. All right. Alela, pa'akai. We know what pa'akai is, right? Everybody knows that word. That's your salt. And the vayu paka is supposed to, the butter is supposed to be ho'ohehe'e, right? It's supposed to be melted butter. Komo I ka pa'akai a me ka vayu paka hehe'e I ka pola a ho'ohui. Okay, so we're going to put the salt. It was just a 1/4 teaspoon of salt and 2 tablespoons of melted butter and komo I ka pola. Put it inside the bowl a ho'ohui. And you can use your mea ho'opuehu for all of that. Okay. Are we good? Oh yeah. Alela, kamea elua, helu elua. The second big step now is kahino I ka papalai. So spray or put a little bit of butter into your papalai, into your frying pan, right? Either sprayed or just a little butter or margarine or a little oil, whatever. Just a little bit into your papalai, into your frying pan. And we'll give Ini a second to get her stove already in front of her and get that baby hot. And then, hemea, oh yeah, here, ki, that's kind of spray. Ki, ika aila, yeah, spray the aila, and the action is Kahinu means to grease. Kahinu, and hinu is that shining. You know, when things are greasy, they kind of shiny when your skin is greasy, right? It kind of shines, right? So that's that hinu, that shining kind of that word. Kahinu means to grease. Kahinu ikapapalai. So we did that. Alela, komo I ho'okahi hapaha apu o ka mea ho'owali ia me ke ki apu I loko o ka pā palai. So now we're going to put a quarter cup of our mixture of our dough using a ladle, our ki apu, inside the frying pan. We had to turn it on first. Kalamai. Small kind of step that was missing, which is ho'a iki kapuahi. Turn on your stove. Make sure your frying pan is nice and hot. And then when it's nice and hot, alela komo I ho'okahi hapaha apu o ka mea ho'owali ia me ke ki apu I loko ka pāpalai. Put 1/4 cup of the dough with your ladle, not your ladle, your ladle inside the frying pan. She's gonna wait a little bit more. Make sure that the papalai is hot. Alela, komo, hokahi hapaha apu. That's about hokahi hapaha apu. We're kind of eyeballing these things, right? Hawaiians, we like to eyeball things. Here we go. And then nana, huli oya ikapapalai, right? She's turning the papalai around so that the mea ho'owali ia, that the dough spreads around the whole pan. You see how she's alela ho'omo'a palai no elua minuke. Yeah, very short. This is a quick thing. Once you have, that's why you have to have everything else ready, because once you start doing that, it's going to go really fast. So elua minuke, palai, fry your mea ho'owali ia, your dough. And then when you think it's elua minuke, hemo me ka ulau, huli a ho'omoa no elua minuke maka au. So when you think the one side is pau, you can kind of see when it bubbles a little bit and whatever. Then hemo, you're gonna kind of loosen it with your ulau, with your spatula. Huli, turn it around and fry it on the other side for 2 more minutes. So elua minuke ma ho'okahi au, elua minuke maka au. Okay? And I can smell it already. Ooh, See, what I love about this is we get to eat afterwards. All right, so pehea, ano makau kau ho'okahi o puna kaliiki? Okay, so we'll give it another minute to make sure that it's nice and and cooked. And then she's gonna make one more, because we want to have at least one with what you just made, the dough you just made. You should be able to make about a balu or a lima or eono, 5 or 6 palawa lina ulu. So 5 or 6 crepes. If you have 10 people on Mother's Day, just exchange your ingredients accordingly. So she's gonna make one more. Ki mua, ki ho'i kahino I kapapalai. And then we'll make one more so that we can show you how to roll both one savory and one sweet one. Hikino? So give us a few minutes. Komo oya, si nana, komo oya. Ho'okahi hapaha apu o ka mea ho'owali ia. Me ke kipu I loko ka pāpalai. A palai no elua menikui, huli I ka pā aia no na mea apau ma ka pā. And then elua minuke alela. Hemo me ka ulau, huli a ho'omo aho no elua minuke. And when you're cooking, those are always the longest minutes. You wait for the water to boil. It takes forever, right? Even though it's only 2 or 3 minutes. And the same when you're waiting for something for 2 minutes. So you see her first palawa lina ulu. Yeah, looks beautiful. It's nice and thin. You don't want pancakes, right? You don't want something thick. You want it nice and thin. The thinner, the better in a way. So if you notice it looks like a pancake, then try it with half of that. Because you want it to be very, very thin, like millimeters. We're talking millimeters, kind of, um, not inches or anything. Okay, ane pau. Now, if you're really good, you can, yeah, hanapela, right? Throw it up in the air and catch it again. But we're not gonna be that fancy today. We're just gonna do it the old-fashioned way, which is with our ulao. And pau noho ikamea elua. So we made 2 crepes right now. Again, you'll have batter for 5 to 6 crepes, depending on how fine you make them and also how big your frying pan is, right? It'll depend on that part as well. So again, if you're making for Mother's Day and you have a larger crowd or each one plans to eat 5 or 6 of them each, then you just gotta increase the quantities. Mai kai. And aikia manawa or komo makapa, yeah, then you put them on the plate. Mai kai. Ikia manawa, ho'opia ana kako ika palawa lina lina ulu ono. So we're gonna first fill the savory crepe. Okay, so you have your crepe and you have your savory filling, your mea ho'opia mea ono, and so kau ho'okahi hapaha o ka mea uala ma ka piko o ka palawa lina lina ulu a maki apa'a. So we're going to put about a quarter of our sweet potato mixture in the center, in the pico of our crepe. What's ini? Now, one thing also, if you want to make your savory filling hot, you can throw it in the microwave for a couple minutes. That's fine. Or if you like it cold, you can eat it cold. Either one. Some people like it cold. Some people like it hot. You can experiment. So she put it, wa komo oia I kela mea makapiko kapalawa lina lina ulu a leila maki a pa'a. So maki means to roll up like a mat, like a lauhala mat. Maki a pa'a and eala. So here is your, can you put it really close to the camera, sweetheart? Stretching there, here. There we are, tilted a little bit more downward. Yeah, there we go. So here is your savory crepe. Ai mai kailoa. Alela hana like me ka mea momona, right? So ka ho'opiha ana o ka palawa lina lina uno momona. Filling up our sweet crepe is going to be very similar. Kau ho'okahi hapaha o ka mea manako ma ka piko o ka palawa lina lina ulu. Put a quarter of your mangoes into the center of your crepe. Right, mai kai. Ho'okahi hapaha. You see how you have this hapalua, hapaha, right? That's how we make quarters. It's just always saying hapa and then whatever number. So if you had 1/5 would be hapa lima. If you had 1/8 would be hapa walu, right? It's really easy because it makes sense. Hawaiian always makes sense. That's why. All right, alela kapi ho'okahi hapaha o na makaneki maluna. So you're gonna sprinkle kapi, right? As in salt, same thing, kapi. Ho'okahi hapaha, 1/4 of your mac nuts, maluna o na manako, on top of your manako. Aleila ka mea hope loa, niniiki I ka waiu paka poia me ka niu maluna. So now you're gonna drizzle your poi and coconut butter on top of your mac nuts. The poi coconut butter, you just take a little bit. You can use your lima if it's not as soft yet. Sometimes you can put it in the microwave if you need a little softer, but just drizzling that waiupaka poi me ka niu, your poi coconut butter on top of your crepe and your mangoes and everything. Alela maki kapalawa lina lina ulu apa'a. Same thing again, right? We are wrapping it up just like we would roll up Alohala mat, and voila, eala. Here is our sweet crepe. Also want to let you know, if you're interested and you didn't get the box, but you want to get the poi coconut butter, go to www.akakafallsfarm.com, and they have all kinds of butters, including this very delicious poi coconut butter that Ian's boyfriend makes. That's why, hence the plug. We're supporting young Hawaiian entrepreneurs. So again, www.akakafallsfarm.com, and here are our mea. If you can go really close there, and you see there's the savory and there's the sweet, both of them and ready to eat. Mai kai. And now we will continue to look at ulu. So ka ulu, he mea mai kai loa, he vai nui ka ulu. Aya ki kumu ulu. Can everybody repeat? Ke kumu ulu. That's your ulu tree. Kahua ulu. That's our ulu fruit. But both of them are just known as ulu, right? So if you say, oh, that's one nice ulu, that could be the ulu tree, or that could be just the fruit. Either one, we call it ulu, but if you want to be specific, we call the tree kumu ulu and the fruit hua ulu, right? Hanaho, kalau ulu. That's our ulu leaf, obviously. Kapo huli, hanaho. That's the babies that grow right out of the roots of the ulu trees, your pohuli. We also refer to pohuli mai'a, right? The baby bananas that come up like that. Anything that comes up directly from the mama, in those kind of cases, we consider a pohuli. Kapi koi, hanaho. The pea koi is your corn, the part inside that we don't want to eat, right? You don't want to eat that pea koi. Make sure no matter what you eat when you make ulo, that you cut out that pea koi. Mai kai. Alela kapoule. Hanaho? Kapoule. That's the male flower, right? Of the ulo. Kind of looks like an ule, so it's called the po ule. And yeah. Alela kanui. Nui na kumu ulu, lo ihiloa, kana walu kuma lima kapuai. So ulu trees can grow huge. 85 feet are some of the tallest ones that have been measured. 85 feet, just imagine, like we are 5, my husband thinks he's 6 something, but 85 feet, that is very, very tall. So some are a huge tree, and it can grow up to 85 trees. Eia ki kahi olelo na weao e pili ana I ka ulu. A ohe ulu e loa'a I ka pō kole o ka lou. Hanaho, a ohe ulu e loa'a I ka pō kole o ka lou. A low is this thing down here. This is a very modern low, right? Our kupuna also had low that were a little bit less fancy. The idea is that no breadfruit can be reached when the picking stick is too short. One thing about the ulo, it likes to have the best fruits, the biggest ones, way up yonder, right? Where it's hard to get to. So you need a really long low, a really long picking stick. And if your picking stick is not long enough, you cannot get those really ono ulu way up there. The idea of this is that there's no success without preparation, right? If you just think it's gonna be fast and you can get things that way, that's not how it works. In order to really be successful, you have to prepare, you have to put some effort into it. Let's try and say that whole olelo no e ao together. I'm going to say it really slow and then try and say the whole thing after I'm out. A ohe ulu e loa'a I ka pō kole o ka lou. Whew, we got some fluent Hawaiian speakers there. Every single one of you did fabulous. I watched your mouth. You did mai kai loa. Oh, ha'ahe nui. I'm so proud of you. Mai kai. And One thing about ulo is also there's lots and lots of varieties. Ho'okahi haneli a oi ano, over 100 varieties of ulo, and not only Hawaiian ones, but others as well. So really a beautiful, beautiful tree with many different types of varieties. Leila, oops, I blocked myself again here. Gosh, here we go. Um, Onoloa kaulo. It's both delicious and it's healthy. So the word ono means a lot of things. We know it as delicious, right? But ono can also mean healthy. In our case, ono also means savory versus momona sweet. So ono has a lot of meanings. That's why I put delicious and healthy. It's energy rich. It has all kinds of fibers and minerals and vitamins and complex carbohydrates. It provides uh, the complete amino acids and protein that you need for human health. So if you had no meat, protein, you can get it from the ulu. Same thing for all your amino acids, you can get it all from the ulu. Now, when you look at the names of ulu throughout the Pacific, you can see we call it ulu. In Tahiti, they call it uru. We also have Kuru, and then in the Marquesan, interestingly, it's May. In Tonga, it's also May, and even in the Marshall Islands, it's Mai, which is really close to May. So we don't know where it came from originally, but these are some of the names. And then even in Yap, we have May and Mai. So the ulo is spread out throughout the Pacific, and certainly when you look at the language, that the word for ulo, we can see that there's relations and that what it was brought from one island to the next island. So now I'll tell you the story of the Kumu Uno, and I want you to just listen and figure it out, and hopefully you'll learn a little bit about how this ulu came to Hawaii. Kamo'olelo o ki Kumu Ulu. I ka wā kahiko, ua hele mai ki kahi kanaka i Hawaii nei o kū kona inoa, he a kua oia, o lela oia, aloha, o kū ko o inoa. O lela mai ka wahine, ui, ano ai, e hele mai ai. So in ancient times, this guy came to Hawaii. He was a god, but nobody knew that, and he introduced himself. He said, my name is Ku, and to this wahine, the beautiful wahine that he met, and she said, come, come, come and eat. That's how we did it. And then, aloha lawa kikahi kikahi, they fell in love and they had na keiki nui. Na, hey keiki ho. So this is her, I don't know what number keiki, but they had lots and lots of keiki in there. He ohana hauoli loa lako. A leila hele mai ka wāwi, o lelo mai ka wahine i kana kane. E ku pololi nā keiki a ohe ai. Pane mai o ku a hiki au ke ho o lako I ka ohana a ka, ke hele wau a ole wau e ho I mai. So there, once a famine came, and the wahine said to Ku, oh, the children are so hungry, there's no food. And he said, well, I can provide some food for the family, but if I go, I can't go back. And she goes, ah, ole la. No ways, you're not going to leave me here with all these kids. However, the kids kept complaining about being pololi, being hungry, and finally she agreed to him going wherever he needed to go. No leila ua hele o ku I ka mala, a ku oia maluna o kona po'o, o leila ka wahine, awe ku kane, aloha nui wau ia oi, a ua nalo wale o ku I loko ka honua. So Ku went inside the garden, and his wife said, oh, my dear husband, I love you so much. And as she was talking, he disappeared into the ground. Awe, awe, o lela mai ka wahine, ua haalele o ku, he aha ka ue hana aku ai. Ay, my goodness, said the wahine, Ku has left me now. What the heck am I going to do? Because the kids were still hungry and there was no kane now. Ho'i oia I ka hale o lela mai na keiki, pololi mako e mama, pane mai ka mama, awe, ua haalele o papa, a ohe a o ai. So the kids, when she returned to the house, they told her, Mommy, Mommy, we're so hungry. And she said, oh my goodness, your daddy left us and I have no food. She just didn't know what to do. Aka, I kalaea ua hele oia I ke la wahi aku I Komo I loko ka honua a nana he ulu e ola ana ku ohana. So she goes back the next morning to that spot where her husband disappeared. And look, she said, there's a ulu tree. My family will live. And she was very happy. No leila ho'i oia in ikana mau keiki o lele mai ea. Ea ka ulu in our keiki. So she returned to her children and said, here is some ulu keiki. And they were happy and they started eating their ulu. A leila, hele mai ki kahi wahine ae, make oia I ka ulu ki kahi nana o I ka ulu o lele mai oia. Make wau I ki ia ulu. So this lady came and she was hungry too and she saw the ulu and she said, oh, I want this ulu. A ka, yaya ho'opai ka ulu, ua nalo wale ki kumu ulu I loko ka honua. We o lele mai ka wahine, ua nalo wale ki kumu ulu. So when she tried to grab the whole ulu tree disappeared back into that puka in the ground. And she said, yeah, the tree disappeared. And so people came, were hele mai na kanaka like ole, olelo lako I ka wahine, polo li mako, olelo mai oe, ea ka ulu, e kala mai ho'okahi wale no. So many people came to her and told her, I'm so hungry because they had heard about this kumu ulu. And she said, here's an ulu. I'm so sorry I can only give you one because there were so many people who needed. And plus all these children that she had also were hungry. Leila, I kapo, pule oia I kana kane olelo mai oia. E olu mai e ku e ho'olaka nuia e a mako. She prayed to her husband and she said, please ku, please supply us with more because we want to help everybody else. But at the rate, if you only have that one tree, we really can't do that. No leila, I ka la'e, yaya e hele ki kumu ulu. Ua iki oia I ki kahi pohuli o lelo oia I kana ke ki kane. Na, he pohuli. So the next day, when she got to the place where the ulu tree was growing, she noticed this pohuli growing right on the side, sprouting right next to the ulu tree. And she said, look, here is a sprout. No leila, ua ke hele mai na kanaka a nonoi ka ai o lele oia eia e kanu I kia pohuli I ola ka ohana a o lele lako mahalo nui. So whenever people came now to ask for ulu, she was actually able to give them not just an ulu, which was a maybe temporary, but she actually gave them a pohuli or the actual baby ulu tree. And then that way their family could live because then they could plant the ulu and they could live off of this ulu, this kumu ulu, this ulu tree. A pela no I ho ea mai ka ulu I Hawai'i nei pipi holo ka'au. So according to our stories, that is how the ulu came to Hawaii. And so the story continues. So I'm hoping that when I talked in Hawaiian that you could actually understand more than you thought you would understand. And so what I'd like to share is song that I wrote and that my sister recorded, Aunty Robi Kakalau. It's called Keiki o Ka'ainala. Those of you who are old like me know the song. Ho'olahe mai ka kola ina mo'olelo la o kawa kahiko, which just means children of the land. Let's listen to the stories of the ancient times. And this story of Kumu Ulu is o ku ke akua nui la, aloha I ka ohana la, lilo I Kumu Ulu la, iola mau o Hawaii. So let's say that together. O ku ke akua nui la. Aloha I ka ohana la. Lilo I Kumu Ulu la. Iola mau o Hawaii. All right, are we ready? Keiki o ka aina la, ho'olohe mai ka kula, ina mo'olelo la, o ka wā kahiko. Let's do that together again. Makau. Ke kio ka aina la, ho'olo e mai ka kola, ina mo o lelo la, o ka waka hiko. O ku ke akua nui la, aloha i ka ohana la, lilo i kumu ulu la, i o la mau o Hawai'i. Let's try that verse one more time. O ku ke akua nui la, aloha i ka ohana la, lilo i kumu ulu la, i lola mau o Hawai'i. Ke kio ka aina. Ke kio ka aina la, ho'ola e mai ka kola, ina mo o lelo la, o ka waka hiko. Mai kai. And here we are, a little bit more about Keakua o Ku. He has many, besides the ulu, he has many other kino lau or body forms, including the niu, the coconut, the ohi alehua, the koa, the noni, the io, which is our Hawaiian hawk that lives on our island, Hawaii Island, the ilio, which is the dog, and the moa, which is the chicken. And he is known as the partner of Lono and the husband of Hina, and he has many different body forms that many of them have to do with male activities, such as planting and fishing and war. He's also the god of the forest and the rains. And so if you're interested in a free puke ho'oma'a ulu or an activity, printable activity sheets, we will email those to you and then you can print them out. And these are coloring sheets and matching sheets so you can remember the vocabulary that we studied today about the ulu. Please email us at kuakanaka@gmail.com and we will send you a copy of this puke ho'oma'a, which is our ulu, which is our Ulu activity sheets. And if you have a few more minutes, if you could please in the chat tell us what you liked or didn't like about this experience. This is the first time that we're partnering with the Ulu Corp in this specific way. We do Kanaka kitchens other than that, but just any kind of manao. If you liked stuff or if you didn't like stuff, both are very much appreciated because the only way we can do better and do more of this is if we can get your manao. And while you do that, I also want to see thumbs up or thumbs down as far as the lessons. Can I see thumbs up, thumbs down, medium, whichever way you go, just to kind of see where everybody is. Thumbs up, thumbs down. Okay, I see all kinds of people share which one it is. Either one is fine, just so that we kind of know again where we're at. Maika Iloa, again, please put in the chat how you liked it. And then we're going to close up with our closing chant, which is Mahalo Eye, which is the same as Aloha Eye, how we started, except now we start with the Lehu Lehu and we end with the Akua, versus the Aloha was we started with the Akua and we ended with the Lehu Lehu. In this case, we're going to go down on the Kupuna part and on the Akua part. Makaukau? Mahalo Eye. Mahalo e ka lehu lehu, mahalo e na makua, mahalo e na kupuna, mahalo e na lio Hawai'i, mahalo e na au makua, mahalo e na akua, mahalo e. Mahalo nui, and we also want to say mahalo to Donna. Yes. Shapiro and the Ulu Cooperation. If you want to know anything more, please contact us. If you're interested in doing Kanaka kitchens or want to know more about what we're doing, you can also visit our website at www.kuakanaka.com. Dana, do you still want to say something?
Mahalo nui, Aunty Ku ini. That was awesome. I learned a lot. And I was recording, and so we will share recording via email tomorrow. So if you want to rewatch it when you make your crepes, you will have the opportunity to do that. Mahalo everyone for joining us.
Ai, mahalo nui, a malama pono, a hui ho kako.
Mahalo, Kumu. Ahoy.